Hey everybody, it's time for another one of my tag videos where I want to know what a whole bunch of other people are thinking about this subject. And today, the subject is ads creeping me the fuck out. Okay? So, we all know that if we search for something on a search engine while we are logged in with a profile, that will be associated with whatever we searched for, and that could be information that could be sold to advertisers, and then the advertisers try to target you with targeted advertising, and you'll start to see the product that you searched for pop up on all sorts of websites that you visit. Well, it's gotten to a creepy fucking level for me, and I feel like we all need to have this conversation because we're all having an individualized experience now with this targeted advertising. We don't know what each other is seeing on their phones. And I know what I'm about to say is going to sound like confirmation bias, you know, some sort of you were looking for it so it happened, coincidence, maybe. But given the fact that we have this technology for targeted advertising, I'm kind of dubious about that. Okay, so for starters, about 2 months back, my girlfriend was shopping for a ring for herself, right? She wanted to get the perfect ring for herself. And this ring was sold by a company, the ring that she finally decided on. It was sold by a company named Brilliant Earth. And this ring had a big diamond in the middle, and it had little diamonds on the side that look like leaves, right? She sent me this link once. I opened it on my phone once, and she texted it to me, so it opened in the native browser, which was Google Chrome, connected to my Google account, and I have not been able to get away from seeing this particular ring pop up on all sorts of websites, including Facebook. Even though Facebook was not part of the initial exchange here, that data somehow got over to the advertisers at Facebook, through some behind-the-scenes dealings. And now I can't get away from this ring, and I can't help but think that the price of this ring must reflect the advertising that they have to put into it for you to buy it. And so, if I were to buy it at the thousands that it is, then part of that thousands would be going into the advertising that they spent just doing this targeted advertising and putting this ring in front of my face for months, okay? And this goes beyond, like, when you search for, say, a printer, and then 6 months later you'll get advertisements for ink for the same printer that you were searching for, It's worse than that. Okay, because this starts to get into my relationship life that they're advertising towards in a way that I feel is bordering unethical. Okay, so apparently Google knows when my girlfriend is having a period, right? And so rather than market to her for the feminine hygiene care products that she might like, that she might already have loyalty towards, they're marketing all sorts of feminine hygiene care products to me during the week where she is, doing her thing. So I think the reason why is because they've associated me being her boyfriend, right? And us making a lot of purchases together. And also the way that women might have a loyalty to a certain brand, but if their man were to possibly, do some shopping while they feel sick, maybe he might buy an off-brand that she wouldn't buy because he doesn't have the same brand loyalty, and he might get her to try something different. So now I'm getting all of these ads for all of these feminine hygiene care products, and it, without fail, has been happening when it's that time of the month for her, right? How have they calculated that for her? All sorts of different ways that they probably have been scouring her social media and whatnot. But the AI at this point, I feel like I can call it, is smart enough to predict your girlfriend's period. That's why I'm making this hashtag. It's that bad. Okay. Even worse. Let's go a little bit worse than that. Last week, I had a discussion with my girlfriend about whether or not we're going to have children. Okay? Of course, the phone's in the room with me. Some of you might have a Siri or Lexus-powered, OK Google-powered, Amazon product, whatever, in the room with you when you talk about certain sensitive subjects. But right after having that discussion with her, I start to get recommended videos on YouTube about how it's okay when women decide that they don't want to have children. The first one was a TED Talk. I'm like, what the fuck? We were just talking about that. We were just talking. How the fuck do they know? And I don't know exactly how it is that they know, but I'm starting to suspect it's this frickin' microphone in my phone that goes with me everywhere, right? And I sometimes might say, "Okay, Google, show me this." Creepier than that for me, like a 10 on the creepy meter, is that in my practice, I have to talk to a lot of clients for their first initial intake. And one of the phrases that I say to them often after doing a regular assessment that is kind of just a non sequitur to everything else I do. It's a medical screen for sexually transmitted diseases and highly communicable diseases, right? I might say to them the phrase right off the tip of my tongue because it's so burned in my memory. You seem like a low risk for catching or transmitting diseases such as HIV or hepatitis. But if you feel like getting tested, you can go down to such and such facility that's near where you live, and you have this insurance policy that will cover it. So if you want to get tested, go get tested, right? I get ads regularly for these things that I don't have, but I have talked about with other people, and I've never really done internet searches on HIV drugs or hepatitis treatments or anything like that, herpes treatments. But what's really strange is, after having a very unique conversation with clients who have a communicable disease that I don't normally say in my spiel, that communicable disease will then be advertised towards me in ads on YouTube, in ads on Google, and I'm like, what the fuck? When I'm in that situation with my phone on me, I'm actually talking to someone who expects a level of confidentiality. But I feel like my phone is picking up little snippets of what I'm saying and then advertising to me towards, things that I don't have, but my clients have. And that is next level fucking wrong for advertisers to be able to listen in to confidential conversations when, all I did was bring my phone with me into the room. And they probably do the same. So they're getting advertised to themselves for things that they only brought up in confidence to one other person because they happen to leave something with a microphone in it in the room, or bring it with them, or, not realize that they walked into a room that had one of those things. So now that I've given you all a bunch of creepy ad stories, I want to hear what you guys are experiencing with these advertisements, because a lot of these things are none of the advertiser's business, and I feel completely invaded in my life with the way that their ears are now on every platform that I'm on. It's basically reflecting my life to a point where it's too creepy. So I want to hear from, we'll start out with Kizzume, Lizz Reptile, Robert Wallace, Eon, Xxxild, Andy Bryte, Michelle Knight, Jesus Freak, WAPTEK, and Mom's Opinion. Okay? I want to know what kind of creepy ad things have happened with you guys. And anybody else who wants to join in, just throw that hashtag in the title, and when I make my playlist, I will include you. And we'll all share these stories, because we don't see what everybody else is seeing. And if we don't have these conversations about what we're seeing, there's no way to know what everybody else is experiencing, because this shit is getting a little more than just creepy. It's bordering unethical.